This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. It is the first weekend of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Before the teams tip off today, we have tips of a different kind for you to help you become a successful entrepreneur. In our case, the coaching, if you will, comes from business professionals, community leaders, our own team of VIPs. They share their playbooks, big wins, the upsets, even the air balls to help you build your game plan. Each week, we have 7 segments that cover the things you'll need to know to grow a small business into a contender. We're here every Sunday morning on Wish TV. You can watch the live stream, wishtv.com, or see our content and share it on demand at beoshow.com. The site grows every week with new stories and resources. Try our podcast to listen to us at your convenience. We encourage you to sign up for our newsletter that we update every Tuesday. Keeping with the basketball theme, here's today's starting lineup on Business, Equity, and Opportunity. The 2023 Love Thy Neighborhood Awards are fast approaching. So is the Hispanic Business Council's Conexion. We'll look at what your CPA can do for you. Meet the group trying to make Indiana a tourist destination. And we have a fireproof success story. First, we're getting started with a sweet tale of an Indiana artisan and a case of true confections.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Carrie Abbott is the owner of Newfangled Confections, an Indianapolis candy company. She also sits on the board of directors of Indiana Artisan, which is a collaborative organization that brings together Indiana's talented artisans and their one-of-a-kind art and food creations.
So I am a Hoosier, grew up in Indianapolis, went to high school here, went to college at Ball State, and I just have always loved hospitality, travel and tourism, everything in food. One of the degrees I earned was at Ivy Tech, even with a pastry and baking degree. It was a great program. And after that, I was hooked. I was hooked in something sweet. I had a catering company where one of the treats I made had peanut butter and dipped in chocolate. And it was just something I had a lot of left over that I thought was really good. I wanted to share it with everyone. And the more I did that and kind of that reaction I got from everybody and they loved the sweet, then I was hooked. And played with that recipe a little and developed a brand new candy that has never been developed in 2011, and that is called Friddle candy, a fudge-like brittle. And I've been making that and other chocolates ever since. So in 2011, it just seemed to me that wholesale was the way to go because I like the security. I like the idea that I can make this great confection for other people to sell, right? Because retail can be, up and down sometimes depending on season. So wholesale really seemed the way. I really like the idea of having a great team. They have regular jobs and we're not all, it's not always Christmas time all the time. So just kind of a steady thing year round. So it was just weeks before COVID, Elizabeth Garber, the founder of the best chocolate in town, wanted to go into a different career. She actually went into nursing and offered the company as something that I could acquire, and I did. So all of those years of making Friddle for wholesale for other people to sell, I had the opportunity to buy this company and make these products in a way that we were already used to in a wholesale fashion. So I thought if I could sell a confection called Friddle, which is kind of like what is Friddle, and end up in so many different stores, I've never had to explain to people what chocolate is. Being able to dip and coat so many different things in premium chocolate, it has just really allowed our company to grow in talent, grow in just recipes and offerings. And then we also have a small retail store, something I said I would never do. Here I am. And the retail store is actually a really fun thing. We're on Mass Ave on the East End because we can just try out new recipes and immediately from the consumer see if it's something that they enjoy or not. So in Indiana Artisan, it is your products. So this is something I learned early on. So Newfangled Confections or Best Chocolate in Town, our products have been juried in and accepted to the Indiana Artisan program. So that means our companies are members. Yes, I am the artisan and a candy maker and make the items, but it's actually quite hard to get some of the items to jury in to that program. So being in it, I'm very proud. Indiana Artisan Marketplace comes into Indianapolis every spring. It's a collection of artists, of foodists, I guess is what we call ourselves. So it's wineries, it's candy, lots of chocolatiers, dips and chips, everything. And then in terms of the artists, a lot of jewelers, woodworkers, metal crafters. I would say going into business, I didn't realize how much I was capable of because I started business, just kind of like a dream, that I was just gonna try it. Well, one thing that really surprised me is I was capable of a lot more. Things I've picked up from other careers, other jobs, that I didn't realize the value of those projects that I worked on, the skills that I learned along the way. I didn't realize how well it would serve me in my own business. When I get up in the morning, I think one of the things that keeps me going, one, I don't have a choice. I'm in it now. But two, it's worked out so far. I really feel accomplished. Even if there wasn't a Friddle, even if there wasn't Newfangled Confections, Best Chocolate in Town, I'm really proud of the work so far. So I think getting up and doing it for other people, even something like this, if, even sitting down here doing this piece together, in the early days, it would make me really nervous when it's like just me for me and but when I get up now and I talk about the business, I work in the business, I have coworkers, they're all my coworkers. It's not just like a boss and then my employees, is that everything I do is for them and for us as a group. This would not be fun, and it wasn't fun when it was just me. And so I have a team, and maybe that sounds like a little cliche, just like it's for the people, it's for the team. This is just an experience that is just part of my journey. This is just an experience, part of this journey of life, and I'm just really glad that I get to do it with the people that are here and that they want to be in, this candy world with me. Part of what keeps me just going, really excited to come into work. It's just seeing everybody and working together. Even now, we're just kind of like mid busy, but we arrive at the same time, we leave at the same time, we help each other. It isn't like just prepping the ingredients, making a sales call, whatever it is that we do in our own tasks. It's that we're doing it together. It really is. And people here in operations, it's a little different. They're not in sales, they're not at the store, but somebody will see this piece and in their family, they'll be really proud of them that they were part of that. And that just warms my heart. I love that.
If you'd like to know more information about Newfangled Connections and how it got started, Indiana Artisans, or the upcoming Indiana Artisan Marketplace, we have links, BEOshow.com. If you'd like to ask us a question, maybe appear on the show, email us at beo@wishtv.com. Still to come, how you can nominate an influential Hispanic leader. First, though, how you can love thy neighborhood. That's on the other side of this break.
Getting started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. LISC Indianapolis created the Love Thy Neighborhood Awards in 2017 to recognize and celebrate community development game changers who transform their neighborhoods. It's the subject of today's Access to Capital.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
Dr. David Hampton is the Executive Director of LISC Indy. LISC stands for Local Initiative Support Corporation. He has news on this year's Love Thy Neighborhood Awards.
The Love Thy Neighborhood Awards began in 2017, really to celebrate organizations who are making a difference, transforming their neighborhoods, sort of our game changers. It's an opportunity to highlight their good work and to put the spotlight on them. I really appreciate, those organizations who start small and do great big things, but perhaps don't get the attention they deserve. And so LISC is honored to be able to put that spotlight on those types of organizations. So the application deadline is this Friday, March 24th at midnight. And any Central Indiana organization can apply. So we do encourage every organization to apply who's right here in Central Indiana. So each category winner is awarded $2,500 in unrestricted funds to further their mission, and 12 finalists will be selected in each category, and the winners will be announced this fall, of course, compliments of Wish TV for the Love Thy Neighborhood Awards broadcast. The response has been overwhelming. It's been great. We appreciate the coverage as well. And I think that, the Love Awards really resonates with our community. We use the acronym based on the 4 categories: livability, opportunity, vitality, and education. And it really seems to be catching on. I'd love to see organizations who feel that they have done great work receive the exposure that they want, really to further their mission. And LISC is, again, we're really honored to play a part and to be a partner in expanding the role of organizations doing such great work in our community. So LISC, of course, is a CDFI, so we are a community development financial institution. We help small businesses, and I do want to encourage any business who's listening to look at our website, lisc.org/Indianapolis. But some of our programs include facade grants. We have small business microloans. We also support Black and brown businesses who are just starting. There are an array of programs available. I would encourage a business to just look at our website and then apply for some of the grants that are available right now. Small businesses who are in retail seem to be thriving. Other businesses around tech seem to be growing as well, and we do have some opportunities around technology and growing. And so we try to meet needs and build capacity as well as technical assistance to see our businesses grow, because of course a vital business helps to grow our neighborhoods. One of our mottos is an individual's vitality should not depend on their zip code. And so we try to close those wealth gaps. We try to invest in disinvested neighborhoods, and really that takes an ecosystem. And so whether it's a business, a school, a bank, all of these organizations must work together to build a great neighborhood. And when they work together, and when LISC can be a part of that, we see growth exponentially.
Applications for the Love Thy Neighborhood Awards are open now through March 24th, coming up quick. If you'd like to know more, look for a link on our website. It's beoshow.com. Coming up later, what your CPA can do for you. Before that, though, we're making connections when Business Equity and Opportunities returns.
Every business is unique, and every business has a target audience. Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble to reach a customer base that spans the globe. Pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. No matter the size of your business, put Circulus Digital Media to work for you and get results.
watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Much like our last segment, This Week in Business also centers on awards, specifically nominations for the Hispanic Business Council Award for Influential Hispanic Leader. It's time to make a Conexion.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Marcela Montero and Luis Aju from the Indy Chamber Hispanic Business Council bring us news on one of their most popular annual events.
Yes, so the Hispanic Business Council has a series of events, which is Conexion, and we want to invite our members and the community to join us on May 16. This is one of our main events of the year. It's a very exciting event because we are highlighting and celebrating 5 Hispanic leaders who are making an impact in the community. And it's not just your Indy Chamber networking event. This is more than that because we are doing all what we usually do. Plus, we are celebrating, and that day is going to be the first day of the Indy 500 Practice Day. So attendees will have the opportunity to have access to the practice day, in addition to access to the garages. Nominations opened last Thursday and they will be open until March 24th. And so we invite people to nominate those leaders in the community that are going above and beyond, and that they cannot be unnoticed. They need to be highlighted, they need to be recognized. And this event is about that, to recognize the talent that is out there in the community. So there are 5 different categories: advocacy, vision, leadership, business impact, and trailblazer.
If you think about it, these people are good at what they do because that's all they do. And they're very focused. So it's super nice, and it's such an honor for somebody to recognize them that maybe has the time and the ability to do so without interrupting what they do. So if you think about like the trailblazer, right? They're there as an entrepreneur doing what they do best, and not always have the time to, for lack of better terms, toot their own horn. So for somebody to do that for them and say, and nominate them anonymously, and then, or with their consent, it's just huge. It gives them a chance to take their head up off of their desk and really enjoy that recognition. The selections are made through our council. We do have a specific, kind of like a subcommittee per se, that elects them. Yes,
so the selection is made by the event subcommittee. So they all have the opportunity to vote the top choice for their top choice for each category. And then at the end, we count the votes. If there is a tie, then we will get together and make sure that we discuss and we decide the winner.
Some of the benefits that we have for businesses, it's not just the business owner, but it's the employees of the business. And it's really to build community. And when I say that, what I mean by that is we have programs for financial literacy for the business owner and the employees, for the family of the business owner as well. Very important. We're a very family-oriented culture. So for us to build a sense of how we really coach and develop this business as a family and grow them is what we provide. And Marcela can tell you some of that is lending, some of that is coaching on business planning, healthcare benefits that you have by being a member of the Indy Chamber. And it's really grabbing the power of the Indy Chamber that is 2,000 strong members, and really like taking the steering wheel and driving it and plugging it into the Hispanic business community.
Well, everyone is welcome. Many businesses join the chamber because they want to increase visibility, they want to expand their network, and they want to get access to meet different business owners. And have in mind that networking is so powerful. It's not just to meet your maybe future clients, but there's so much opportunity. You can meet mentors, you can meet just people that will support the growth of yourself as a professional and your business. So yes, everyone is welcome. If anyone is interested in learning more about the Indy Chamber, they are welcome to connect with us.
What resonates with me, or the word that comes up, is servant leadership. You know, it's a way of being a business leader by rolling your sleeves up and really gaining hands-on. What we have seen is, even like what Marcela was saying about the mentoring process, when you take a small company that partners up with a large enterprise, and we were able to do that, and they connect and they go through this mentorship journey The outcome, everybody wins. The business wins, the enterprise that was doing that gains a new supplier, the banks have a new customer, the community has a much stronger sense of ownership that they help that business grow.
This Week in Business is made possible by InnoPower.
Also happening this week in business, Jeff Smulyan's the scheduled speaker for the March 21st luncheon of the Economic Club of Indiana, noon at the Convention Center. IUPUI's Department of Tourism, Event and Sports Management is presenting Next Gen Indy, building the city's brand around sports and entertainment. It's Wednesday the 22nd at IUPUI. Chance to find out about future growth and development in the sports industry. We have more about that later this hour. Also a reminder, nominations are currently open for this year's LISC Love Thy Neighborhood Awards. Deadline is the 24th, also through the 24th. If you want to nominate an influential Hispanic leader, Indy Chamber is accepting nominations. 5 notables for their impact and growth in the Indianapolis Hispanic business community. Visit BEOshow.com for more information about all of that. If you're holding a business-related event you want us to mention, email us, BEO@wishtv.com. Coming up this hour, running your business day to day. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities and Accounting and Bookkeeping. Our friends from the Indiana Society of CPAs are back with some advice and more information you may not know.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Courtney Kincaid is the CEO and president of the Indiana Society of CPAs. She shares information about the client advisory services provided by your certified public accountant.
Oftentimes when people think about their CPA, they think about reactive work, compliance work, taxes, and audit. But the fastest growing area of practice for CPAs are client advisory services, which can take on a whole lot of different meanings, spanning from maybe bookkeeping or payroll to kind of industry-specific consulting, providing information where maybe a CPA has specific knowledge of the risks associated with the industry or opportunities associated, that they could provide then some advisory information to their members, to their clients to make better decisions. And that's really evolved into kind of more the CAS 2.0 model, which is looking at virtual CFOs and controllership. So they're really getting a closer relationship with that individual and understanding, and a CPA is playing a role in helping set strategy for the organization. I think that it really starts with the client of knowing what they might need if the client is on the proactive side. But many of our members are starting to ask if there's opportunities of where they could grow their relationship with their current clients. It's a great opportunity to kind of think about, what do you have in-house? And just because you can't afford to have an in-house CFO doesn't mean that you can't find someone to take on that role in a new way. There's a lot of advantages to small businesses taking on a virtual CFO or controller or even bookkeeper. From technological complexity, you talk to a lot of small businesses and they're running out of multiple spreadsheets, right? And what you can get from working with a CPA is maybe, they have a more advanced technology stack, they have the knowledge of how to more quickly and efficiently do these services. The other advantage is just cost. This is not a full-time position, you're not necessarily paying benefits or vacation. And so it's an economical way to get some high-level services for small businesses. Client advisory services can also include helping small businesses in the startup phase of their journey. Starting up a small business is incredibly complex. There are a lot of different decisions to be made, and they happen in rapid succession. And all of those decisions have implications down the line. So working with a CPA as you start up your business, it's more than debits and credits and adding up money that comes in and goes out, and when you do that and how you do that. There's a lot of compliance work there also in just starting up your small business that results from doing it properly. There's a lot of things to consider when choosing a CPA that would be best for you. It really does depend on what you're looking for that CPA to do for you and with you. There are some that focus on compliance. There are some that focus specifically on small businesses. There are industry-specific CPAs, as you might imagine. In Indiana, we have a lot of members of CPAs who have farm clients. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. And then the Indiana CPA Society can really help pair you with someone who is customized to your needs.
For more information about accounting and bookkeeping topics, visit our show, beoshow.com online. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter. We update it every Tuesday. Subscribe to the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. Listen whenever you want. Coming up, our industry focus is on Indiana tourism. Next, though, branding Indianapolis next gen, when Business Equity and Opportunities returns.
Every business is unique, and every business has a target audience. Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble to reach a customer base that spans the globe. Pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. No matter the size of your business, put Circulus Digital Media to work for you and get results.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Marketers find that each generation has its own identity, likes, tendencies. Today, in running your business day to day, how to connect with the youngest customers.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
Dr. David Pierce is the director of the Sports Innovation Institute at IUPUI. The school is hosting Next Gen Indy, building Indy's brand around sports and entertainment, an event designed to give business owners access to the leaders in the hospitality, tourism, and sports of Indianapolis.
Yeah, so the Next Gen event is really an opportunity to kind of tell the story of the impact of the tourism event and sports and hospitality industry in the city of Indianapolis. So we've got four of the big leaders of Visit Indy, Indiana Sports Corp, Downtown Indy Inc., and the Restaurant and Lodging Association that are really for the first time ever going to be on the stage at the same time, kind of telling the story of impact and why our industry is so important to the vitality of the city of Indianapolis. Yeah, so this is really a great opportunity to come in and really we've done some research around Gen Z and trying to understand their perceptions and what they want to see in the future of the places that they live and also the places that they travel to. So if you're, any innovator or entrepreneur and kind of, creating great experiences and anything in the tourism space, it's a really cool opportunity to hear, what that next young professional generation is really looking for out of the places that they live and work. Number one thing that Gen Z is looking for in a place to live is probably, it's not different than anyone else. It's the kind of the economic safety and daily living, right? I'm in the Department of Tourism, Event, and Sport Management, and so we're preparing the next, generation of leaders in our industry that, has such an important role and has been a key part of the city's strategy for economic development and raising the profile of the city over the last 40 years since, the early 1980. So we're, really here to, tell that story of impact and why our industry is important from a strategy perspective to the city. Obviously we've held, over 20, championship level events here just in the last 4 years. There's a huge slate of events coming in between now and 2026 that the Sports Corp leads, but really, we want to ultimately be the Silicon Valley for sports leadership and technology. So we have organizations in the city like Sports Tech HQ, Techstars has been here, really businesses being in sports innovation incubators, and actually starting new sports tech companies. So we're building on that history of success that the Indiana Sports Corp has led with championship events, but then really moving into the technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship space and making it clear that Indianapolis can be a key player worldwide. So in 2019, Techstars made a 3-year commitment that has been extended a little bit to have 10 startup sports tech companies go through an incubator program over a 3 or 4 month period here in Indianapolis, and Indiana Sports Corp has really created and is propping up an organization called Sports Tech HQ, which has similar goals to Techstars, which is landing sports technology and sports innovation companies here in Indianapolis. So it's attracting existing companies, but it's also investing in people like the students that are sitting in my classroom, who have that entrepreneurial spirit, and giving them a pathway to go from the classroom with an idea ultimately to finding startup capital to start their own business. But one of the things I think is really exciting is just the collaborative spirit that we have across tourism, event, sport management, and hospitality. At the end of the day, when a major championship level event like the college football playoff comes to Indianapolis, those industries and sectors and business owners, and services, we are all working together to create a great visitor experience. So that is kind of that tie that binds, and that Indianapolis is really known for, really worldwide for being able to do that in a way with a walkable downtown and some others of those just structural features that really makes us an attractive destination for all kinds of different events, including sporting events.
If you want to learn more about Next Gen Indy or any of our topics, visit BEOshow.com. A little bit later, our success story. Next up, though, will be industry focus on an organization that loves company. More business equity and opportunities is right after this break. Time on business equity and opportunities for industry focus. Sticking with a marketing theme, this time we look at a group that's guiding Indiana's brand.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, Industry Focus.
Elaine Badel is the CEO of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation. Her mission is to promote Indiana as a great place to live, work, and visit.
Tourism is a big part of Indiana's business. The dollars that we bring into the state each year, looking at $13 billion coming in, looking at all the visitors that come to visit Indiana and travel here. It's a big part of what we do. The dollars that get spent at our businesses, be they restaurants, hotels, or shopping, or anything that visitors do, the attractions themselves, makes for a lot of economic impact in our state. Well, unfortunately, we haven't totally recovered from the pandemic as an industry. We're better than what we were in 2020, obviously, because that was obviously a COVID year. So when you look at our numbers, we're probably double digit above where we were then. We're not quite recovered to where we were in 2019. But these are 2021 numbers I'm talking about, because those are the last ones that we have. 2022 numbers, we expect to see those being much higher and back in sync, if not higher than what we were in 2019. So I really think we've recovered nicely from the pandemic. And unfortunately, we did lose some of our small businesses, be they restaurants, even some hotels and some attractions that did not make it through COVID. But those that did probably learned a lot of lessons, changed the way they were doing things, used a little more technology, and now are doing much better and are now prepared for moving forward. Likewise, I think there's opportunity for other businesses to get started, to fill some of the niches that maybe we lost, and move forward as well. you know, good and bad when you have a pandemic, but it makes you rethink things, everything that you're doing, how you're operating as a business, and how you can improve. And so I think those that were able to figure out ways to improve now will continue from that and continue to move up. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation was created in 2019 by the legislature to actually replace the Indiana Office of Tourism Development. We're a quasi-government entity. We're in essence a new startup, but our mission did get expanded. It's still important to bring visitors here, which is what tourism is all about. Bring visitors here to experience Indiana. But we want them to experience the quality of life and the quality of place we have here, because our mission did get expanded to help attracting talent and to help retain all of that great talent that comes out of our colleges, our graduates that come from Indiana, but also from everywhere else. We need to show them what it would be like to maybe start their career here and live in Indiana. So it's a little bit broader mission, same story. It's all about the quality of life, quality of place that we have here, but we just need to kind of get that communicated in a variety of channels. Indiana has done a great job of attracting new business, and businesses that want to expand or start a new business. You know, I think Indiana does get on their short list because we're such a great place to do business. Now, the next question is, where does their talent come from? And you know, the talent that we have coming out of either Ivy Tech or out of any of our colleges or universities, you know, that's the pipeline. But will talent follow them? And that's the question. We need to figure out how we can make sure that people understand, have a high perception of Indiana, so that when they get that call saying, hey, here's a job, I love the job, but why would I come to Indiana? That's been the response. And we've got to give tools to corporations to respond to that. Because for businesses to continue to come here, they're going to want to know that their talent is willing to come here as well. And unfortunately, right now, all of the research that we've done, the focus groups that we've done, we actually have evidence that people outside of Indiana who've never been here and who haven't seen one of our promotional pieces, they have no clue what Indiana has. No clue at all. And so sometimes they think, there's nothing to do there, it's just cornfields, whatever. And we know that's not true. We've got such a great story to tell here about Indiana, and we just need to get that story out, and that's what we're working toward doing now. Well, I think there's always more opportunities to help tell Indiana's story by having things that people can do here and enjoy. And it seems like experiences are huge. You know, so coming to Indiana and having the experience of visiting a place. Maybe someone's very interested in history, so they come here and visit some of the historical places that we have. Maybe they're interested in presidential homes, so they come in and visit the Benjamin Harrison Historical Site. So there's lots of ways that people can get engaged, and I think anything that you can do with an experience. Indiana is really known for outdoors. We know that a lot of people come here. We have one of the best state park systems in the country. People love to hike. We're seeing more activations in kayaking, you know, using our waterways a little bit more. All the trail system that we have for people to bike ride or to run, walk, whatever. Those are the kind of things I think people are looking for. And so we're really trying to highlight that and add to that experience. You know, we have some wonderful new areas being developed. One is the Origin Park down on the Ohio River, and it's going to have a kayaking experience, it's going to have trails, it's going to, when the Ohio River floods, you'll be able to walk in the flooded areas on the wooden decks. So it's going to be a great experience to understand what nature is really like in the good and the bad times, and how you react to that. And so I think those kinds of experiences, those kinds of things, if we can get those up and running, will be a great advantage for Indiana. Well, I think this is a turning point for Indiana. Nobody knows our story. Now's the time to tell our story. And what we're working with the legislators right now is to trying to get a budget. We have a very small budget compared to our neighboring states. We have about $4.5 million, where our neighboring states are spending $35 million, $40, $100 million in promoting their states. We are not able to do that, so we hope that working with the legislatures, we can get a much larger budget to be able to tell our story. Because we know from evidence that once people come here, they love it and they stay, and they may not have any idea what they were coming into, came for a job, and now they're not going to leave. And those Hoosiers by choice, and we did a variety of videos that people can go and watch, are really heartwarming when they say why they love Indiana and why they're here. And so I think we're right now at a turning point. And if we can move forward again with our In Indiana campaign, which is sort of branding Indiana, getting everybody to kind of join in on that. That was the whole purpose of that In Indiana. Everybody can connect in, create their own headline. If we can continue to do that, if we can continue to repeat it year after year and build on it and build our marketing on it, I think we'll be able to make a real dent in what we see Indiana's perception is now.
If you want more information on what Indiana has to offer, visit beoshow.com for a link. When we return, her name is Geyer. She helps prevent fires, and she's this week's success story. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Keep it here. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Last week's show, we met Rosemily Geyer. Her company was recognized with an award presented by the mayor of Indianapolis. This week, we have her own personal success story.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
Rosemily Geyer is the CEO of Geyer Fire, a fire protection provider that's been named the Certified Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Vendor of the Month for March.
Back in 2011, I co-founded this business with other family members after having been in public accounting for about 10 years. Having seen entrepreneurial businesses at EY for many years, I knew that at some point there would be an opportunity for me to do something, and the opportunity came up with fire protection. So that started in 2011, and the real key there was getting involved and networking, because the fact is I really didn't know much about, fire sprinklers at the time, but I was open to learning, and I've always been a studious person, always constantly wanting to learn and curious about things. And so that's really what led to developing this and then getting involved and just getting out there in the community and in the construction world. There's been a lot of things I've learned along the way. Most of the things that I have learned, probably some of the biggest items and takeaways that I've learned throughout this has really been persistence. Marketing and getting out there is going to lead to some opening of doors. Many times again, there have been long established relationships with customers and they're not wanting to change, right? But persistence with that, eventually there will be some of those changes, because eventually you'll be the one in that seat where a customer doesn't want to change. So persistence to me has probably been the biggest thing, along with allowing yourself to know that you can't control everything that's going to come your way, right? That's a hard thing, especially when you're used to being in control. There will be times where contracts go south or other business deals may not go as planned that are going to throw a wrench. And it's easy to say, you're done. But the fact is, if you just stay the path, you stay the course, and understand that you will not be able to control everything, that's a huge lesson, I think, that I've learned over the past couple of years. We have definitely faced labor shortages. Labor shortages have been, using our current employee base to do reach outs to other folks that they know, right? And to encourage people to also join the trades. That's been one way of getting some of that manpower, trying to figure out how we're gonna train people faster. But then also beginning to focus on other service lines that may not necessarily use a certain skill level. So using other service lines to grow, where you can probably get those skills a little faster and train them in-house much faster than going to the other world. So I said with sprinkler, it is a skilled trade. It takes a lot more training. We also do extinguishers, alarms, and other routes, and we have found that we are better able to find individuals in those spaces or better train them, right? Then you also have faced issues with material, and that has been just working with suppliers. The future definitely looks like, and where I'm trying to go with this, is increasing our services, right? Definitely minimizing some of the risks that we face in construction, right? Due to economy, recessions, other pieces, that is more of a volatile area. The services is a need that you'll always have, right? So that to me is probably where we're going to go. By increasing our footprint in alarm and extinguishers and sprinkler, emergency repairs, etc. That is probably where we're going with the business, and also increasing our engineering capacities. I think doing business in Indiana is simple compared to other jurisdictions. So we actually have locations outside of Indiana. So I can easily compare what that's like compared to Indiana. One, regulation in Indiana is so much easier and simple for a business owner to understand, much more straightforward for you. Second, there's opportunities, the building, right? Just within what the city is putting out there. Projects such as like an IU Health, the hospitals that are going up. But that's not just here in the city, right? That's throughout the state. Those types of opportunities are coming up, and they're definitely putting in a lot of effort to bring in XBE companies into those opportunities and making it work for you, right? Because it's not always reasonable or feasible to say that you're going to take on a large segment of a project, but they're working with you and teaming, and even our competitors are coming to us and saying, hey, let's find ways to team together, right? So it's also a friendly competitive nature among some of the other fire protection companies. So there's a ton of opportunity. You just don't have all the capacity to take it all. I mean, we are turning down opportunities at this point for capacity reasons. The one little spark I think in general that gets me going, be it the morning or at any point, even when you're down on the business, right, is knowing that you're having an impact with the team, right? You really are changing lives. I think the whole team is doing that together, and everybody coming together to either finish that project, get through to that project, and also onboarding new people into these trades because they're life-changing. People onboarding and taking on union positions, that's life-changing for those individuals. So those are the things that kind of get me going, knowing that we can continue to add people to the team, and they're going to help grow and get us moving in that next direction. That's that spark.
If you need more information about anything you saw on today's show, find it on our website, beoshow.com. You can also find past segments from the show in each of our 7 weekly topics. Please listen to and subscribe to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Sign up for our newsletter, updated every Tuesday. If you have questions or your own success story to share, shoot us an email, beo@wishtv.com. We're here every Sunday morning on Wish TV and streaming on wishtv.com as well. We'll be back next week with more business equity and opportunities. For now, I'm Scott Sander. Good luck with your brackets, and thanks for watching.
Business, Equity, and Opportunities is made possible by Indiana Economic Development Corporation and InnoPower.